Hey, and welcome into the course here at Earl Hall Studio on how to create your demo in Audacity. I'm going to go in as much detail as I feel is necessary to go ahead and do this, but we're going to go step by step so that you get a firm understanding of what it is that you need to do. Now, what I also realize is that some of you are just getting your microphones, hopefully already have it, and you're about to get into Audacity. So I want to start at the very beginning. So the first thing that we want to make sure that we do is that we download Audacity. So we're just going to go over to Google and we're just going to type in Audacity and click on that. And then this is going to let us know right here, we want to download Audacity. So we're going to click on that first option there and you're going to see this is the Audacity website. The next thing that we want to do is go ahead and download Audacity. Now you're going to select which computer you use. Do you use a Windows-based computer, a Mac computer, or any of the others? Most people use Windows or Mac. So we're just going to make sure that we hit the download button. And this one has recognized, okay, we're doing this for Windows. So you want to go ahead and you're going to download. Click this one here. If you're on Windows, download for Windows. If you're on Mac, download for Mac. So I'm going to go over to the Windows one, and all you're going to do is follow these instructions. So you're going to left click, and for me, I'm on a Mac, so that's why I was trying to download this for me already. If you're on a Windows-based computer and this recognizes it, you may get a similar pop-up. That'll pop up as well. So you want to left click the Audacity installer link below, which is here, or left click the Audacity zip link below, which is right here. You're probably just going to go ahead and download the 64-bit installer if you have a 64-bit computer. If you only have a 34-bit installer, you want to open that. And then you're going to launch the download for this. And now, now that's going to be pretty self-explanatory on what it is that you need to do going in and going ahead and starting this download process for Audacity. And so then what's going to happen, you're going to go ahead and you're going to open up Audacity. So we're going to go ahead, I'm going to share my screen again, and we're going to go ahead and I'm going to launch Audacity. And so you see that coming up on screen. And now we have Audacity opened. Let me just see if I need to make this a little bit bigger. And it's asking me a question, how to get help. These are our support methods. And basically you can just go ahead and hit OK. And then this is what it's going to look like. I'm just trying to see if I can make this a little bit, get that a little bit more. That's okay. All right, you can see the whole screen of Audacity there. The second or the next thing that you're going to do with Audacity, and let me just check one more thing here, just to make sure everything is running appropriately. We're going to do that. I'm just checking some of my audio settings is what I'm doing right now to make sure I have the proper input and output going, and we are all good. All right, so let's go back to the Audacity screen. Now, inside of Audacity, the first thing you want to do is go ahead and do your audio setup. And this is basically going to be your playback device. And the playback device is basically your speakers. Hopefully, you're listening on speakers that are better than your computer speakers, because you're not going to get a good sound representation. So you may want to also have some headphones plugged in so that you can get a good representation of the audio that's going there, because your computer speakers generally are not going to give you that. Even if you have some good external speakers, they're going to be a lot better. But the best thing you're going to be able to use is your headphones. I'm telling you right now, get you a decent pair of headphones, and I'll probably link in the description to some things that you might want to consider getting as you're building out your studio. But the audio setup here, your playback device, is generally going to be your computer speaker or whatever you have listed here. If you've got some external speakers, they may be listed here as well. Now, your recording device, your microphone. How are you recording this? This is picking up my Rodecaster Pro for my mic and also my playback device, because I've got this fancy setup you don't need to worry about. But my audio interface is also my Rodecaster. If you're using something like a Scarlett, like 2i2 or Scarlett Solo or a Presonus, it's going to show here for your recording device, because that is what your microphone is plugged into. Now, if you're using a USB microphone, that microphone itself is going to show up. So you have to select what that recording device is going to be. Your playback device so that you can hear, and then also your recording device. Now, your recording channels, that's a whole other thing. You can go ahead and select your recording channel as mono 1. Don't worry, we are recording in mono, but it's going to play in stereo, so don't worry about it. But we are recording in mono, so you'll select that. And then your audio settings, you can also look in here to make sure that you've got the playback device set appropriately and the recording device set appropriately as well. You've got your channel set. Don't worry about anything else. That's getting way too fancy. Now you are actually ready to record using Audacity. Believe it or not, you're ready to record. So I'm going to hit the record button here. Hey everyone, welcome into my Audacity tutorial here from Earl Hall Studio. All right, so then we just press play, just press stop here, and that is recorded, and you're seeing the representation, the audio wave file of what it is that I just recorded. Now, when you're doing these types of things as well, one of the things that you'll be able to do is, if you want to zoom in, you can hit this little plus sign here to zoom in on stuff that you want to take a look at, and use your mouse to go left and right. Then you have the reduction here to kind of zoom that back out. And then this next button over here, you want to fit the selection to your screen. So it's already fit in there. And then we have this button here, fit projected to width. So you can kind of hit that and you can kind of highlight something there, and all of that. So not a big deal, but we're going to stick with the fit to selection window. Oh, that fit to selection did the highlight there. So let's go back here. This little undo button, or that's too much. All right, so we're going to go ahead and zoom out. All right, so basically how you want to use this button here is if you want to fit selection to a width, right? So if I selected just this area here and then click this button, it would fit that selection to the width. All right, but I'm going to go back all the way out, zoom all the way back out so that I can see the whole thing, and I don't want to select that, and then we're just going to go whole width. Now I got the whole width right there in front of my screen, right there in front of me so that I can see everything. Now, the reason that you may want to zoom in, if you're taking a look and you do a highlighted area and you want to zoom in on that area, you want to see how much noise is there. If there's a bunch of squiggle lines, you're going to want to be able to address that, right? And even if I see these two little squiggles, those two little squiggles, I can just highlight them and hit delete on my keyboard and it'll take them out. All right, so let's go back to the whole thing here. I'm just giving you a rundown of some of the things you might want to consider with this. Now over here, off to the left side of this, you can see you've got some little plus symbols and minus symbols. This plus symbol here, this is your gain. So the gain is always at 0. You can highlight the whole thing and you can move this little slider to increase the gain if you would like to, but I wouldn't be messing with that right now. So we're going to go ahead and go back to 0. Now, when you get into wanting to process your audio, there's a couple of things that you're going to want to do. You're going to want to make sure that you're taking out noise and taking out your breaths. And when you're looking at, let's just call it a particular order of operations, there's an order of operations that you want to pay attention to. You just don't want to do things kind of willy-nilly, right? You want to make sure that you have an actual plan and a way to do this. So I want you to write these things down, and you may want to write them down. I'm going to put them below this video as well. One, you want to make sure that your audio is not peaking or clipping, and I'm going to go into that in a moment. So you want to make sure that that audio is not peaking or clipping. So what does that mean? Let's go back to the Audacity screen here for a moment, and I'm going to show you what that means. All right, where's my Audacity screen? Here it is. All right, now what this means is And I'm going to like kind of zoom in on this area right here in particular. Actually, no, I won't, because it'll make more sense if I don't do it this way. So let's do it. Basically peaking. You see you have a range here, right over here on the left side, basically from -1 all the way up to +1, basically in both directions. Peaking would be, you see how this peak right here is, you see that's the peak. If the peak is all the way up here somewhere, right? And it's a square at the top, that means it's too loud. It's distorted. You never want to record in a way that your audio is peaking. That's what that means, peaking or clipping, okay? That's the first thing you want to make sure of when you're recording. The next thing you want to do is you want to go ahead and set your EQ. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. And then what you're going to want to do is then do your compression. So first you want to make sure you're not peaking or clipping. The next thing we do EQ. I'm going to get into that. And then we do compression, and then we take out noise, and then we take out, and then what we do is what we call normalization. So there's 5 or 6 steps you want to make sure that you take. And as we go through this video, we're going to dive deeper into those things with that. And so what I'm going to do is record some voiceover right here in Audacity. And then I'm going to let you see how it is that I go about doing these things within what this is called, which is your processing chain. So your processing chain is, first, make sure you're not clipping or peaking. All right. Now, when you get into processing the audio, you want to do EQ first, then you want to do compression, and then you want to take out noise. Now, it's 2 parts of that. You may want to take out mouth clicks, and you may want to take out background noise. So those are 2 steps in part 3, and in part 4 and part 5. And then you want to do normalization. A lot of people do normalization to -3 dB, -1 dB is good. I usually try and do -1 dB, but it also depends on step 1, how it is to make sure that I'm not peaking and clipping. But we're going to get into that in just a moment. So now, another thing that you want to do, especially as a brand new voiceover artist, you're looking at how in the world can I get scripts? How can I get, practice scripts to practice on? And so I tell people a lot, you can do a lot with magazines. Basically, if you got magazines laying around the house, those are ads, and you can just record those. Or you can use a place. Let me just go here. I just logged into my account. And so it's a place called Edge Studio. Now, you get free stuff here. One of them is being scripts. So you want to log into your account, and then under, I believe it's classes and training. Nope, voiceover. Yep, under this tab, voiceover resource center, you've got a script library. And so you just want to click on the script library, which I believe I was already in. Yes, I am. All right, so now you've got all these different types of scripts that you can go through, and you can do search, you can do by categories, browse all categories, but you've got audiobooks, commercial, all this kind of stuff here. So there are all these different kind of practice scripts, and yes, you can use them in your demo if you want to go ahead and use those for that as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try my best to do this here. I'm going to come here, and I'm going to start in Audacity. We're going to go ahead, and I'm just going to delete what I put there. Make sure that my playhead, you don't want the playhead somewhere up here, but you want to make sure that it's back starting at home. And then we're just going to go ahead. Now, I'm reading these scripts cold, so bear with me here, right? So just bear with me as I'm reading these scripts cold here. But we're going to go ahead, and I'm going to start recording. All right, this is a practice for recording scripts from Edge Studio to make a demo. All right, so here we go. Now I'm going to go over here, and actually, let's stop recording. We can start recording again. That's not a problem. We can start recording. We'll just move the playhead over to where we want it, and we'll make sure that we're getting recording. Because if we hit recording again, yep, it'll start recording. All right, so stop recording. And when I start recording, it'll go again. Now, what it is that I want to do, I want to select a script is what I want to do. All right, so let's just go here, and I'll start recording this one. So let's go back to Audacity, hit record. How do you get clean? At Risewell, we believe oral hygiene should be natural and safe without nasty toxins. Our natural mineral flavors will have you feeling fresh all day. All right, let's try another one. You notice I didn't read that entire thing. I did not read the entire thing because this is going to be for a demo, and I don't need the entire thing. I don't know what this says. Poppy Pupper-Up? We'll just call it that. Poppy Pupper-Up was a popper in Port Pound. Or is it puppy? That's not puppy. Poppy Pupper-Up. We're just going to go with that. Poppy Pupper-Up was a popper. I'm not reading this one. I don't even know what this is. All right. Oh, here's a good one for Advil. Muscle aches? Nothing is proven more effective or longer lasting than Advil. For long-lasting relief of muscle aches, count on Advil. In a recent clinical study, Advil was found to work better than Tylenol in relieving the pain of sore muscles the day after exercise. Okay, that was a good one. Self-service password, nope. In this house. Well, let's try this. In this house, there is no mess, no gossiping, nothing negative, and definitely no stress. Never mind what happened in the past. Putting focus there only makes it last. Okay, we are done recording our audio. So now we just want to look at the whole thing. Now, I know I can get rid of this one here because I was just talking about, we're doing a thing in Audacity. All right, so we're going to take that out, and we're going to go ahead and take this out, and then we're just going to slide this to the very beginning. All right, and so now we can actually take a look at what we have here. All right, so now I just have to separate out. I'm going to put on my headphones here so I can hear. I don't think you'll be able to hear this, but I am going to go ahead and take a listen so that we can take out the noise. So I want to put the playhead all the way to the front. All right, so I'm listening to this. All right, so right here, that was a mistake. So I'm just going to take that mistake out. All right, and then let me just take a listen. Okay, now we're getting up to the second VO. I think was this? All right, I'm going to stop here, and I'm going to go over to here. Okay, we're going to go up here. All right, I know I can take all of this out. Let's pause it. Then I can delete that. And then this is my Advil commercial. And then this is the third one that I did. All right, so I know that I can take all of this out right here because everything else was just hyperbole. All right, and so now we have 1, 2, 3 voiceovers that we've done. Now, in doing a demo, you want a 60-second demo, right? This is going to be maybe 40 seconds, and that's fine. And the reason I didn't read all of those, the entirety of the script is because I want this to be short. I want this to be punchy. No one wants to listen to an entire commercial, but they do want to hear different reads from you. So you can do this and be easy on me. I had not even seen these scripts before I just read them, believe it or not. So I had not seen those scripts as of yet. We've got a little noise right there at the end. So we're going to go ahead and take that off as well. So now I have these 3 right here. So the first thing that I want to do with this, and let's just punch in just a little bit so we can zoom in on the whole thing. All right, I need to minimize just a little bit. All right, there we go. So now we can see I've got one script here, and let me just make sure. Okay. All right, so now what I want to do, the first step in this is parametric EQ or EQ. You want to do your EQ first. So this is how we're going to do it with the base model of Audacity. No plugins, nothing else, to show you the simplicity of being able to do this. So you're going to highlight this whole thing, right? And then you want to go, and I know you can't see it because it's actually not on screen, but there is an effects menu. So you want to go up top and you want to click on effects. And now you're going to see the drop down from that. And it should be, you should have a graphic EQ right in here, right? That is the only EQ that is inside. We're not going to talk about all my little plugins or anything down here because you need to just start getting to do this. We can talk about plugins on a different one. All right, so we're going to go to, we're going to use the graphic EQ, and you're going to see that pull up. Now you're going to have presets right here, right? And the factory presets. Now, depending on your voice, and let's just take a look. While we're looking at this, what I'm going to do, now that was the graphic. Let's look at the look and see what the other one actually looks like as well. The filter curve EQ. Now, you can see this, and let's just go with this, and let's go with some presets. And we're going to look at the factory presets right here, right? And so you want to take a look at kind of what your voice is looking like. But what we're going to do low roll off for speech, right? That cuts out the low end. All right. Now, if you did the preset for the rumble or the basically like the highs, you can do like a treble boost if you find it a little bit, but let's just go with the roll off. This is all we're going to do because we want to take out that low end rumble. That's what we want to do. Trust me. All right. So then we're going to go ahead and hit apply. And that took that out. So now we've EQ'd this a bit. The next thing that we want to do is compression. And remember, you want to have this whole thing highlighted. So now we're going to go back up to the effects menu again, and we're going to take a look at the compressor, right? And then we've got some presets on this. So we're going to go to factory presets, and we'll just do the defaults. And this is going to be your compression. Now, you'll notice that that compression has brought up a bunch of your volume there, right? It's brought up a bunch of your volume, but nothing is peaking or clipping, okay? Now, because we've done this compression, what we want to do, actually, we might have a little clipping right here, but it's not so bad. Let me just double check. I'm going to zoom in on this portion of my audio here. No, nothing is over dramatic. So there's nothing that actually clipped. It's touching the line a little bit, but it's not that dramatic. All right, so then we're just going to zoom back out so that we can look at everything. All right, so now we have the whole file there. Now we want to go ahead and do that. We just got done compression. Now after we've done this, we want to go ahead and take out basically the noise. So we're going to go back up to effects. And the way that we're going to take out the noise on this, I'm just going to see if there is within here. All right, we've got noise reduction. That is what we're going to have to go with when it comes to using Adobe Audition, is a noise reduction. And so this is how we're going to do that. Noise reduction. Now, this is asking you to get the noise profile, which is what you want to get, because you have to tell Audacity what you want to take out. So you're going to click Get Noise Profile, and you're just going to highlight like towards the, some blank space, because that's going to be where your noise is as far as the noise in the environment that you have. All right, so we've got the noise. We've got that. All right, let me just do this again. So you want to highlight this. I want to get a bigger chunk of that. All right, so I've got more. You want the straightest line. You don't want anything that is like where you're talking. You just want it on the end. All right, so we're going to go back up to effects, and we're going to go down, go and get the noise reduction. And this is already reducing that noise. All right, so you want to get the noise profile. You got that. All right, so now that we have it, go back to the noise reduction. And now it already remembers this, right? It already remembers this. Now, step 2, select all of the audio you want filtered. All right, so then we want to select all of the audio we want filtered. Go back up to the effects, noise reduction, and it's going to reduce the noise reduction by 21 dB. It's going to look for that noise that you already selected. All right. And you just want to leave everything set and you want to hit OK. Now, to show you this again, you want to go ahead. This is your step 1, effects. This is for taking out noise. And you want to do the noise reduction. Let's see, select the audio noise reduction to use. Okay. This is the first thing. And effects, noise reduction, get noise. Now it's got it. Now I want to highlight the whole thing. Effects again, noise reduction. And now we're on step 2 and you hit OK. Now it's taken out the noise. Now I don't have a lot of noise, right? I don't have a lot of noise. Now on another video, what I'm going to show you how to do, like these breaths that are in here. I know that's a breath. Like you can go in and literally take out breaths automatically, but you need a plugin for that. So if you're doing this, like you just downloaded Audacity, go ahead and get accustomed to listening to your audio and taking out the breaths. Okay. Do that. Now, the last thing that we want to do is we want to go ahead. Now, this little peak right here is bothering me, right? This little peak right here is bothering me. And talking about compression again, you see how the compression, it brought up the lows and brought down the highs. It brought down the lowest volume and it brought up, it brought up the lowest volume, brought down the highest volume. So what you want to do, and I want to look at this little peak that's going on right here, and I want to zoom in on that selection. All right, so I know that this is it right here. Yeah, that's going to bother me, but hey, we're trying to keep this simple. And I definitely want to keep it simple for you. All right, so we're going to highlight this whole thing, and we're going to go up to the effects menu, and we're on the last step of this, which is normalization. So we can normalize all of this, and you can see -1 dB, but it's only going to take the highest peak. That's why that peak was bothering me, because it's already kind of up there at -1. But you're going to go ahead and apply and see it kind of brought it down because that was above -1, but that's okay. This is going to be audio that is going to be just fine for producing your demo. Now, in the next video, what I want to do is I want to go through and start showing you how to apply music to your demo and how to get that just right.